Welcome to another edition of the TUE Brew Review. This week is actually a 2-for-1 special because we're going to be sampling two different variations of the same beer. This is a New Holland Dragon Milk Barrel-Aged Stout from 2022, and this is the same beer, but this was actually packaged in 2016. So we're going to try the most recent edition of this stout, as well as one that has been cellar aged for the last 6 going on 7 years. So first of all, Imperial Stouts is basically a stronger version of a classic stout, and then on top of that, New Holland has aged that stout in a bourbon barrel. Most people, when they think of barrel-aged stouts, they think of Goose Island's popular series of barrel-aged stouts. But there's lots of breweries that have made this style, and New Holland has actually been making this style for years. So this beer was packaged, looks like September of 2022, and this one was packaged February of 2016. And again, this is set basically in my basement, which is a relatively cool corner of the basement. Normally beer should be consumed and enjoyed as fresh as possible, but there are some exceptions. Beers with high alcohol levels, certainly these barrel-aged beers, also a lot of the Belgian strong beers that are bottle conditioned, which means they still have yeast, live yeast sediment in the bottle. Those can benefit for aging over a period of years. You'll continue to get maturation and development of some unique flavors. So these can be exceptions to the rule, and there's a debate on whether or not that's a good thing or bad thing, but I tend to like it, and it's fun to do little experiments like this to see how this beer stood up to the test of time. So I'm just going to get right into it. Both of these beers are 11% ABV. So I'll spare you the rest of the details so we can get to it, since we've got two beers to get into. So this is the most recent version. So this is the 2022. You can see it's got that great dark chocolate color. Not too much in the way of head retention, but it's definitely clingy on the glass. That shows you that there's a lot of sugar content in this beer with that kind of clinginess. Ooh, yeah. So I've had this stout several times, and the aromatics are wonderful. Chocolate, caramel, vanilla, and definitely getting that sweet bourbon boozy aroma in there as well. Cheers. So pretty sweet in the flavor. Again, chocolatey, that's the first thing I think of, but also the vanilla bourbon is also very strong in there. Don't get a lot of the barrel age character out of there, kind of vinous wood character. I'm not getting a lot of that. Really the sweetness and the kind of the dark chocolate character tends to be the two major flavor players. And it's got a kind of a tongue coating finish as well. So the finish definitely lingers, and again, the sweetness, some of the heat from the bourbon, I'm definitely picking up in the finish. Let's go ahead and crack into this guy. This is the 2016 version of the same beer. So same color. We're actually getting a little bit nicer of a head retention on this one. Maybe a little bit. It's definitely a little bit murkier. Same color, but not as translucent as the 2022 version. Not sure if you can pick up on that, but did my best there. So this one's definitely got more of a getting the sweet, but also getting a kind of a fruity character from it, which can be normal when you get these type of barrel-aged beers. So definitely getting a little bit more wood, vinous, and fruity characters. Cheers. Reminded of a chocolate covered cherry with this one. Fruity, but chocolate, not as sweet. and not as viscous. It's definitely, it's thinned out a little bit as time has gone on. So it doesn't quite have the mouth coating feel or body as the 2022 version. But definitely like the wood characters coming through more. And again, that fruitiness is definitely is prominent. Yeah, they're both delicious in their own right. This is kind of more of a dessert with kind of the sweeter vanilla chocolate tones. But I really, between the two, boy, I really gravitate towards this one. The sweetness is kind of toned down a little bit drier, not as quite as heavy in terms of a mouthfeel. And that little, that cherry fruity essence tends to add another layer or another component that we're just not getting in the newer version. So I really like how this is kind of dried out somewhat over the course of time. But either one of these, you can't go wrong. So, hey, you get a chance and you've got 4, 5, 6 years or more to play with this stuff. Go buy yourself some bottles of the most recent bourbon stouts. Enjoy one today, but then put a few in the cool part of your basement if you have one, and pull them out in a few years and do the same experiment for yourself. So always fun to experiment with these types of things. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. So there you have it. Thanks so much for joining. Cheers.